Hey guys, it's Ann popping on in my kitchen. It is a ribeye French onion soup day here. So I thought I would just show you the steps. And I'm actually using leftover ribeye that we'd already cooked. But if you were going to use fresh ribeye, you would want to sear that in the Dutch oven first. But instead, I have just put 2 tablespoons of butter in the Dutch oven. I love Pampered Chef's garlic and crushed peppercorn, so I added a tablespoon of that. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of olive oil, and then we're gonna do 6 large onions that I'm going to do here in the prep mandolin, and just a much quicker way to do the onions than me trying to do them by hand. As you can see how quick they go through and slice. And one of the cool things is you can set different thicknesses. And so I personally like a thick onion in my French onion soup. I feel like it's easier to pick up, so you guys can kind of see what the thickness is. And we're going to slice all the onions and we're going to put them in at medium heat for 15 minutes to get them to soften. Okay, now the onions have been in the Dutch oven for about 15 minutes. So they're softened. We'll see if you guys can see these. I did add some thyme to the flavoring. And now we're gonna add 2 cups of liquid. It can be wine, it can be broth. Mine's actually a combination of wine and broth. And you're going to put it in and make sure that you give a good scrape across the bottom. And now don't put the lid back on, because you want this to come to a nice simmering boil, and you want it to boil down till at least half of the wine is gone. So let me see if I can give you a quick peek. So this is what we're dealing with right now. Okay, we're at the next step where we've got our half a liquid left. We have these beautiful onions. So now we're gonna add in the ribeye that I diced up. You wanna cut it up into bite-sized pieces. So when you're using a spoon, you know it's the right size. And I have it on our big cutting board that I absolutely love. And then this is the chef's knife that is from the Foundations knife set. You guys, if you need good knives, I absolutely love this 4-piece block, and I love that you can flip it over and store it completely flat, even in a drawer if you wanted to. So that's what I used to do the onions. And now we add a whole carton of beef broth. And then we're gonna let this simmer for 3 to 4 hours. You do want to check it to make sure that there's always liquid covering the onions. If it gets a little bit short, then go ahead and add some water, because you have plenty of flavoring in here. So you can just add water if you need it for the next step. Okay, we're to the last stage. We let this simmer for between 3 and 4 hours, and it has just made the house smell incredible. I also took some baguette and just lightly toasted those on a pizza stone. And then I shredded white cheddar, mozzarella, and Parmesan cheese. So I'm just gonna take an oven-proof soup bowl, and I'm just going to ladle in the soup. And then you can top it like this with just a couple pieces, but I have found I actually like to break the lightly toasted bread into a little bit more manageable pieces. So I'll show you here. It just makes eating and serving it a little bit easier. So I do that before I top it with all the cheese. And then it goes under the broiler until the top is caramelized. And enjoy.